Jack, thank you so much for your time today. I'm such a big fan of yours from the days of Late Night with Conan O'Brien and 30 Rock. I'm just very excited about Zillow Gone Wild. So before we get into it, though, I'd love to know what is the most wackadoo addition or feature you've got in your own home that you can share with us?
You know what's so funny? Like after I saw all these wild houses for the show, it made me realize like, oh, maybe I'm a boring person. I mean, you can see I'm very much about symmetry.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I get it.
What if like every room in my house was just symmetrical? Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
creepy, huh?
that'd be
No,
interesting. Yeah.
I don't know. You do just realize some things about yourself when you're seeing all these spectacularly different, unique homes and stuff. But don't get me wrong, I live in my dream house. So it really was a lesson. This show was a lesson for me in how much a home can be a way for people to express themselves. And I guess I just never really thought of houses in that way before. So
Yeah, it's
lesson learned. Thanks, HGTV.
Yeah, I love HGTV for that reason. They give us like a different vibe every time with every show. And this one
Right?
was so crazy. It was so wild. I loved it so much. So let's talk about it. It's based on the enormously popular Zillow Gone Wild Instagram account. As someone who's been a part of both traditional television and now a series that's deeply rooted in online culture, how do you see Zillow Gone Wild bridging the gap for television fans and social media users?
Well, what's interesting about this show is the social media that it is tied to is really based on real estate listings, which I think all of us are guilty of perusing on our downtime just because we're naturally curious people. I'm a little reluctant to say voyeuristic because that sounds a little creepy, but it really is just, as humans, we want to see what other choices people are making and how they've decided to surround themselves, again, just to express themselves through their own home. The the Zillow Gone Wild Instagram page, created by Samir Mizrahi, is one of our producers, really started all of this. I'm just thrilled that I get to do the real life version of what other people just do on their phones.
Yeah. Are you one of those people that will sometimes drive by the neighborhood and when you see an open house, you just want to go in just to see it? Or is it just, okay, good. Yeah.
Oh, and I live in my dream home, but if I see an open house, I'll even be like sweaty from a hike. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jack. What's going on?
Yeah. No, I do that too. It's a lot of fun to look into people's homes, I guess. I don't know.
And I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I don't want to say steal ideas, but you are inspired by some of the choices that other people make. And I'll be like, you know what? Maybe if I had a side chair in that part of my room, I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually how I got my idea for like this IKEA best type unit in the back. It's just like a shelf with like my books and all these things. And
But it looks so good, especially in like Zoom culture. I mean, like that is,
yeah,
you still have the center focus, but like there's
yeah,
plenty to look at, and it's not frenetic. It
yeah.
doesn't make it crazy. There's no
This is
chaos.
also, yeah, this is also Joel McHale's favorite background. I can say that proudly because
There you go.
he tells me all the time. So it's great. So, as the season progresses, viewers will have the opportunity to vote for their favorite property and what's really a fun interactive experience for the viewers to win big money, also guessing the wildest house. So what was one of your favorite homes and what made it stand out for you?
Well, that is a tricky question because we saw 24 houses and each one is unique in its own special way. I mean, that's why they're featured on the show. Some of my favorites are actually more tied to the stories behind them because I got to meet with all of the owners of each of the houses. And in some cases, it was like a selling agent. And in some cases, it was the people who had purchased the home because of the choices made prior. But for me, what was most touching and special was hearing those stories from the people. There was a house in Lake Tahoe where the woman was selling it, and this is the house that she grew up in. This is the house that her father built. And what was so unique about it is it was built on top of a mountain. And instead of blasting the boulders to create the house, they built the house around the boulders. So the boulders are inside the house. It was wild. But it was it was lovely to hear the story. It was quite poignant. And there's so many examples of that in the 24 homes that we saw.
Yeah, I love that the whole boulder thing. When I saw that preview, because I only saw the first three episodes, but when I saw that preview, I was like, this is the episode I want to watch because sometimes you should make nature fit your house as opposed to the other way around. Like how you should fit clothes, not, clothes should fit you, not the other way around.
I
Like that's
mean,
what I think about homes.
well, and I really liked hearing people's reasoning behind things. Like this lovely couple in St. Louis, just obsessed with like Pee-wee's Playhouse, Saved by the that whole 90s vibe. And they created this essentially a fun house. And every square inch there was something to look at. And I'm talking floor to ceiling. It was fun. I like to see people passionate about things and to just express themselves unapologetically. It was really fun.
Yeah. You have a background in comedy, and I feel like, something this wild and zany, it really complements you, going into these houses. How do you think your background in comedy prepped you for a role that finds you at the center of these weird, bizarre homes?
Well, sometimes comedy can be a good icebreaker, especially depending on the home you're going into. What I'm very grateful for is even though my background is in comedy, I was pretty upfront with HGTV. I was like, look, just so we're clear, I'm not like snarky or cynical, like I'm no Joel McHale, but like I'm this guy. I'm this guy. The good was HGTV was very open to that, and they were like, no, we want this show to be celebratory and positive and exploratory. So it really was. It felt good. It felt good across the way. But I mean, a sense of humor helps anybody in any line of work. So made it easy.
It's such a fun, easygoing show. Like, I watched this one with my sister, and again, we watched the first three episodes, and we were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, there should be more! Like, we can't wait to see like what else is next." And it was just so much fun. You guys got so many houses in
Yeah.
that short amount of time, and it's done so well. It's produced so well. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited for everyone to see it. Yeah.
Me too. Like it was one of those things where it wasn't until after it was over, I was like, that was really fun. That was really, really fun. So I hope that people enjoy the show.
Yeah. So how do you approach each tour to ensure viewers get a full, well-rounded experience of the home? Because it's a very short amount of time, but we get to see so much.
It is, and a lot of that lies in our fantastic editing team because we were there for a whole afternoon, and they can only show so many minutes of it. In general, I like the rule of thumb of just like be a good house guest, be the person that you would want to come into your home. These people are opening up their homes, their private spaces to us and a camera crew. So I'm like, be a good guest, never show up empty-handed. So you come in and then you just be a good conversationalist, ask questions, listen to the answers, expand on those. I'm not going to lie, a background in improvisation was very, very helpful in a job like this. On top of the fact that everybody was just lovely. Everybody was just a delight.
Yeah. And I loved how they let you into their home just to see things. And like that bridge house was,
I know.
it was just hiding like the entire time. I was like, I can't believe there's a house there.
Bonkers. I mean, every single one is so special, but like that one in particular was like, what is this? Where are we?
Uh-huh. Was there one particular house or even feature in the house that really pulled the wild together for you that you were like, oh, this is exactly what is the epitome of like the creativity and the commitment and all that?
Yes, I've mentioned this one a few times. There was a house in Northern California that we called the Storage House, and it had thousands upon thousands of drawers and shelves and cabinets. And strangely enough, they made it work. They made it work. And like you'll see in that episode, you're just like, oh, I get it. I get it. This is the epitome of why they're calling it the storage house. But there's so many. I'm a sucker for a swimming pool. And so anytime I would come across a house that had a swimming pool, I was like, yes, yes, I see why you've done this. It's perfect.
Yeah,
Oh,
the resort home with the four layers outside, the four tiers outside, and then it's just two inside. And then when you walk in, it looks like you're in a hotel. It's like
every single one was so special and unique. What's the word I'm trying to say? In addition to the fact that I just got to tour all over the place. Like it was really fun to just see different parts of the country and be reminded like, oh yeah, there's a world outside your Southern California house. So it was fun.
What do you think motivates people to create or purchase these unconventional homes?
Well, it makes sense for when people own the home and then just create the space that they want to live in. But what was so fun to me is just seeing that, like, at the end of the day, there's a lid for every pot. And if these were people who were selling the homes and stuff, there's going to be somebody out there who wants that bridge house, the house that's attached to the underside of a bridge. There's going to be somebody that wants this homage to cars and motorcycles. There's going to be somebody for every home. It was fun to witness that.
Yeah, for sure. So, before I let you go, I do want to let you know I'm a huge fan of yours. Again, I've been a fan since Conan. I've been a fan since 30 Rock, and you are now on the same network with Conan on Max, and you get to have your own show, which I think is it's so fun. You're both like, you get to stream it on HGTV, but it also airs the same day on Max. So, I'm just
Right.
wondering, yeah, it's kind of feels like a full circle moment maybe for you. I know you and Conan are very close. You're very good friends. I know late night played a huge role in getting 30 Rock as well. And so I'm just curious, how do you think your time working with Conan shaped your comedic sensibilities, influenced your embrace of wild, absurdist humor, especially when it comes to hosting a show like this?
Great question. A lot to answer. For me, I learned pretty early on in my comedy career is like just be your authentic self. And if my authentic self is a little bit weird, guess what? I'm gonna lean into it. And the good news is there are people who subscribe to that and will people who will hire you for the job. It is a wonderful coincidence that me and Conan, our sense of humor aligns. But also too, I'm just so grateful for that idiot. I mean, like, yeah, it's very likely if you trace it all back, I might not be in this meeting right now with you if I had not met that gentleman, Conan Elizabeth O'Brien.
Yeah. See, I have the late night pillow there too. I love,
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that.
yeah,
Oh,
it's right there.
wow.
I used to love seeing your Triumph, the insult dog, when you were interact with him. It's always, like yin and yang, sort of.
And speaking of Joel McHale, you know that a tradition at Conan O'Brien's holiday party is at the end of the night, it's me, Conan, and Joel McHale just eating all the leftover ham with our hands, just dipping
Yeah.
it in that. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fun.
Joel's great. He's a fun eater. He loves to eat. One of the things before I do have to let you go in a couple of seconds. My friends at Collider, they are all wondering. They know how much you and Alexander Skarsgård are best friends. So are you ever going to collaborate? Because again, he's also on Max with Succession. His whole show's there to binge. So yeah, do you ever want to do maybe something with him? Do you want to collaborate with him?
I would give a limb to be able to work with Alexander Skarsgård. Why? It was so funny because I got to be his plus one to the Emmys when Succession was winning everything, and so I know that so many people were like, "Jack's not on Succession, is he?" But I was like, "Could you imagine? Hey, y'all, let's do business.
Yeah.
Oh, rich people. Oh, politics.
Yeah, I would love that. I think that would be a great show. Another spinoff. We should have that for Max. Let's pitch that right now.
Oh, that will be a Succession. Like, this ain't good."
It'll get all the awards, I'm sure of it. All right. Well, Jack, thank you so much for your time. I'm so honored to have talked to you. And Zillow Gone Wild premieres May 3rd on HGTV and it streams on Max the same day. So thank you so much. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Oh, this is a blast. Thanks so much.